I'm pretty sure it's been about 9 months since I last filmed, so very sorry about that. First and foremost, hello. Welcome back to my story. My name is Harley Nouveau, if you did not know. Today is just gonna be a get ready with me kind of life update video, because of course I need to explain what has happened over the past 9 months, as well as, I don't know, just catch up. Disclaimer, there's gonna be some background noise because my room gets very hot, so I do have the fan on in my window. There's no way for me to avoid that without like sweating to death, which is counterproductive to anything that I'm doing apart from just sitting here and talking. So yeah, could be worse. I could have some type of camera noise, you know, like a high-pitched squeal that I leave in my videos for a year and get mad when people bring it up. As you can probably tell, first things first, I got some new glasses. Finally, it had been like a year since I got some, so I can see again, thank God. I also have contacts now, but I try not to wear those unless it is for a special occasion. I get bothered by things in my eye, like no matter what contacts I wear, it's always kind of uncomfortable, so I try to avoid that if possible. So in today's video also, I was gonna do a separate video on it, but we're working with what we have. Baby steps. I'm gonna be using this to get ready, along with some other new stuff. This is the Wet n Wild Little Twin Star collection. I got it when it came out because I love the little twin stars, and also, as you can tell, like, duality is something I'm a fan of. So I'm gonna use this to get ready. I don't know if I'm gonna review it or anything like that. I might tell you at the end how I feel, but whatever. I'll let you know as I'm using it what of course is from that collection. I don't know if it's still available for purchase. I also haven't shaved since yesterday, so I apologize for any stubble you may see. There's a lot of apologies in this video. This is a Makeup Revolution blur stick. So when last we left off, I believe I had just started my job as an aesthetics instructor after training and doing the program for like a year. If not, I jumped ahead a bit, but hey. So, I was an aesthetics instructor. Chi Chic, a really good foundation. I've actually not tried this all over my whole face yet, so I'm interested to see how it works out. I do know that the color is slightly off because I did swatch it, so I'm gonna mix in a little bit of color into it. And I'm gonna put that on using this LBF2 brush from Lunar Beauty, and then blending it out using my beauty sponges from this Twin Star collection. It comes with a little container, which I love. When last we met, when last I was talking with you guys, I was working as an aesthetics instructor. I had just gotten my license and I had my job. I believe I described it as the job of my dreams. And I was really looking forward to what the future had to hold for me. And unfortunately, what the future had to hold for me was not amazing. So I no longer work there, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But before I get to that, in June, I was in a car accident and I totaled my vehicle, which you will see pictures on the screen now. So what had happened was I was on the way to work. It was on a weekend. That should have been my first sign. I know what you're thinking, this is extremely pale on me and really off color. I messed up. I'll fix it. I also like using a paler foundation too, because once I add everything into it, I feel like it balances out some. I was headed to work. It was a weekend, and Sunday specifically, and I had to be there by 8 a.m. because we were doing a big workshop for all of our students where the instructors were all going to teach a different topic, and it was open to guests and things like that. I was going to be doing chemical peels, and I asked Jasmine, my best friend, to come along. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this, which is even paler, because I'm really just going for the vampire look today. This is the Kimchi The Most concealer. And also haven't used this before. We stopped to get a Starbucks, you know, as you do, especially when you're gay. And I just used too much of that. I'm not a big fan of this kind of component, by the way. This whole, it's like the LA Girl thing. I don't like it. I find it really strange. I'd rather just either put it on with like a doe foot, or what I will do is I'll put it on a dish and then apply it oftentimes, but because I'm showing this off today, I'm just gonna use it as it comes. So we were driving to my work and we're listening to Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo. And I'm literally slowing down to turn into the parking lot and the car explodes. At least that's how it seemed to me. And Jasmine, if she ever talks about the story, she makes fun of me because I literally said, oh my God, did the car just explode? Because there was not a car behind us. When I tell you this, I know that sounds crazy, there was not a car behind us. So I'm like, what happened? Turns out what happened was that the man who hit us came over the hill going like 60 miles an hour because he fell asleep at the wheel. So it went from there being nobody behind me to this man appearing and smashing into the back of me. I'm going in with some of my e.l.f. cream bronzer to warm up my face a bit. This man hits me right in front of my work. I am, understandably, I don't want to say humiliated. I'm very upset because people are going to be showing up to this event and they're not going to know what happened. They're just going to see me in a car wreck. And they're probably going to assume I was at fault. Or they're just going to make assumptions, you know. Assumptions will be made. So I'm on that side of the road and I'm crying. Mostly because I really liked my car. I honestly loved my Prius. I don't know if I ever talked about it, but it was like the first vehicle I saw when I went on the lot. And I immediately picked it after trying it out because that's how much I liked it. And I knew, I'm not an idiot, I'd never been in a car wreck before, but I'm like, oh, this shit's totaled. So the man who hit me, who I have lovingly called Will Smith in the Pursuit of Happiness because he got out of his hoopty and he was driving a hoopty, looking like Will Smith in the Pursuit of Happiness, like business suit, same hairstyle, everything. And he told us that he was going to church and he had fell asleep at the wheel. So sorry. He was very frazzled. I, of course, did not care what he had to say because I was in shock from getting hit by a car. And also from knowing that my car was totaled. Next product I'm going to go in with is this new, it's not new, it's this M Cosmetics Serum Blush. Jasmine got this for me for Christmas. I was so excited because I'd been wanting these for a really long time. So I'm going to put that on now. Just using that same brush. Just going to put it on my cheeks. Okay. Interesting. So after the man hits me, we find out, of course, he doesn't have insurance. He doesn't even have a license, actually. And the police take him away, of course, because of no license. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell am I gonna do? And it turns out he came back up to my job an hour later, because I was still there, of course, because I had no car and no family members to come get me. So Jasmine and I are stranded there. And he comes back up and he's like, do you want some cash? And I'm like, why would he have cash if he doesn't have insurance? I don't want his money. I just want to let my insurance handle it. We get an Uber, we leave. That's how I lost my car. Most favorite vehicle I've ever had. In 2021, I ended up replacing it with a Toyota Corolla. It's okay. I still really freaking miss my Prius. You may be asking yourself why this leads into me no longer working there. So 3 things happen. In response to me getting hit by a car on their property, they get mad that I am not able to stay and finish out my chemical peel class. when I got hit by the vehicle, it actually messed mine and Jasmine's backs up, and I still have back issues to this day. So we were in a lot of pain and shock, of course, and they were not at all empathetic to that. Whatever. Around that time, I also found out that the state had deregulated instructors' licenses for estheticians, or they were going to. As of September 1st, no new instructors' licenses would be issued, and they're going to start phasing them out. So what I had spent the past year and a half working on has now become nullified and void and no longer matters. So that was a big blow, of course, to my mental health and also in my interactions with my boss, because I now had less power. I'm going to go in with a little bit of translucent powder just to start setting my face. To do that, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild photo focus, because I'm doing a Wet n Wild themed video, it seems. When I started working at my job, which I basically got offered because somebody else quit, I got along really well with the woman who taught the other group of students in nighttime, because I was the nighttime instructor. And I was excited about that because, you know, you want to get along with your coworkers. You know, now that this is oxidized a bit and I'm setting it down, I actually think this is a really good foundation color for me. What I did not know, however, is that apparently there was a lot of drama happening between the instructors at this school, which I've always been told in predominantly female workplaces there usually is a lot of drama. I've never really tried to, form an opinion on that, because I feel like that's a very misogynistic narrative. But there was a lot of drama in this workplace, and there was a lot of drama especially around the other nighttime teacher and a daytime instructor. And when I started getting along very well with the other nighttime instructor, I picked a side without realizing it and got myself wrapped into this drama by just working well. And I know it had nothing to do with me, it was just everybody else was being very immature. So I began to get guilt by association. And our director started treating me not the most amazing, because she had a problem with this teacher. I'm going in with my Chi Chic Contouring Duo. This is in tawny. It kind of is a little bit bronzy, so I'll use it as both bronzer and contour. They were enemies, girl. And eventually, the drama and the toxicity led my partner, my other instructor, to quit. I used too much of that right there. When she quit, I thought, well, she's gone. I'm not happy she's gone because I liked her, but good for her mental health, and maybe now there will be less drama. Turns out I was wrong, because when she left, I was still guilty by association. And the fact that now her and I, Angel, she's amazing. She has her own spa near me and very successful. Me and her still good friends to this day. This is from this collection, by the way. It's just a powder brush. We're getting along great. We're good friends. That's a problem now, because when she's gone, I'm told I should not be her friend anymore because it is a conflict of interest. And because I am still her friend, and I was her friend while she was there, I become the next target and proceed to be essentially bullied every day. My boss talks poorly about me in front of my students. She lies regularly. She will have private conversations with me about a topic and then send a follow-up email that wasn't what we talked about and wasn't what's said, so that she can create this paper trail to look like it's a mess. Well, eventually, I'm like, as much as I really love this, this is really becoming a problem for me. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I also used the Kimchi Blush Duo in Peachy. This is the Thailor blush. And I left. And when I left, they tried to claim that I stole all of my equipment. And I knew that this was gonna happen because they did this with Angel, so I made sure to take photo documentation of that and threatened to sue them. So I ended up not getting charged for that. They tried to garnish my wages. It all worked out in my favor because I had a paper trail Moral of the story, cover your ass. I'm doing my makeup out of order, by the way, because my mind's kind of all over the place. I'm gonna move into my eyes next and my brows. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of brow gel. This is the Essence Make Me Brow. And this is in Blondie Brows. I left there very unhappy because what had, in my mind, been my dream job crumbled around my face. And one of the lessons I learned here is that sometimes it's best to just do the bare minimum at work. Don't get involved, don't make friends, because you never know who feels what way about who, and even if you aren't literally involved, you will get guilty by association. And even though Angel and I are amazing friends now, and I would not trade our friendship for the world, it did fuck me in the end. So, and this is a NYX brow pen, Lift and Snatch. Just gonna add a little bit of details with another amazing update of 2021, something I really wanted to share, but I didn't get the chance. I had this mirror. This is from Besame. I really wanted it when it came out, and I managed to get it right before it was gone. This is a Sleeping Beauty mirror. You know that I'm obsessed with fairy tales. It's very heavy, very good quality. Very happy I managed to get this. It's one of my few highlights of the year. Gonna add some brow strokes, just define it a little bit. I haven't been keeping up with my brow maintenance, so my brow shape is not amazing, but we work with what we have. So I left there and have been kind of just surviving ever since. And I have to be honest with you, as I move into, I'm gonna go ahead and use that concealer as my eyeshadow base, because Jasmine, I got her some Kim Chi's product, says that she really liked it for that, so I'm gonna do it like that too. I am gonna set it just a little bit because I have very oily skin and I don't want to crease. I'm gonna go in with my eyeshadow next. I'm gonna do my eyeshadow next. And I'm gonna use the Cotton Candy Clouds palette. This is what came with that little Twin Star collection. They have some other stuff that I don't really plan on using, like the throwaway bag, and you might not see in this video. Doesn't matter, it's not a review video. Dream Galaxy, with this neutral kind of tan shade down here. And I'm gonna use that as my transition shade. So, just like that, something I had been working for years blew up in my face. And there was no payoff. And as I'm sure you can imagine, this had a bit of a profoundly negative impact on my mental health, because I am somebody who is extremely hypercritical, and I don't want to say I'm a pessimist, but when it comes to my own life, I'm very, like, the glass is half empty and nothing is ever going to work out for me in my favor. This eyeshadow brush is also from that collection, so I thought it was pretty pigmented. I'm going to do one eye first, and then I'll do the other eye off camera. I'm going to take a Lunar Beauty LBE1 brush and just use this to buff out and soften. I'm not going to put any product on it, I'm literally just going to soften. I'm going to carry that same shade underneath my eye, just to add a little bit of depth, warm it up a bit, whatever you want to call it. So, I have been in a bit of a slump, in a bit of a depression now for quite some time about the state of my life and the state of my future. Paying the bills, of course, surviving, but in a bit of a bad place, to the point that there are other changes you might have noticed that I have been glossing over, or I'm just not really thinking of. For instance, I managed to outfit my room quite a bit since you last saw it, to add a little bit of my own flavor and like identity in it, so I feel a little bit more at home. But even then, you know, we know I'm not really happy here. I'm just surviving. I've been very honest about where I live and how I don't want to live there. I don't want to live here. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a 2 different eye look. So I'm In this little twin star, of course, one is pink and one is blue. I'm gonna do blue on one eye and pink on the other, like, you know what I'm trying to say. And I'm gonna go in with my finger for that. So taking this, we're gonna do blue over here because it's blue over here. Yeah, we'll do blue over here because it's darker. I'm gonna go in with December 24th, which is Christmas Eve. I'm gonna put that all over my lid. One of the things I was luckily able to get done this year is I was able to get my teeth worked on. And I don't know if you can tell so much because I need to get them whitened, but I had not seen a dentist in probably a good 15 years, since I was a kid. My parents never really took me growing up, and obviously because of my life circumstances, I never really had the money to go myself. I will say, as I blend it out a bit, it does get a little bit weird looking. And then I'm gonna, underneath, kind of smoke out a little bit more of that neutral color. Actually, I'm gonna try going with a brush on December 24th and see if I can add a little bit more of that color. I have a very weird eye shape that I still haven't quite figured out because it's hooded, but it's fat. I have a fat hooded lid. And this is a LBE2 brush from Lunar Beauty. I was able to get my teeth worked on. Sorry, I know this video is all over the place. And I was able to get my tooth removed because I don't know if I ever talked about, in this gap right here, I used to have like a big cavity tooth. And it turns out that that was a baby tooth that had fused together with another baby tooth when I was younger. And my adult tooth is still in my jaw. And even though, according to the dentist, my teeth were in amazing shape, I only had one other cavity besides that one. Even though the nerve hadn't been affected because it was a baby tooth, they said there was no saving it. There was nothing they could do that would really fix it. Putting a crown would be useless because baby teeth are not as structurally strong as adult teeth. So they recommended removing it, so I removed it. And I'm honestly really happy because that tooth was the source of a lot of self-esteem issues I had, of course. So that's another positive note. And that was something I had been working on for a long time. I'm going in with, I'll probably regret this, I'm going in with Thinking Out Cloud, which is this dark brown color, and I'm deepening the outside of this eye a little bit. And then I'm going to pull it down underneath a little bit on the outside corner. And then going back in with that first brush, I'm just going to soften it. Next, on this eye, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Moon Dust, which is this effervescent glitter color. It reads as like blue and like holographic almost. And I'm going to put that on my eye as well. I'm not really a big fan of glitters, but if it's here, why not use it? Oh, it has some pink in it. It's micro. I don't know if it's eye safe. Probably not. I'm going to go in with, add this set of liners. I'm going to go in with this light blue color, which is called something, I'm sure. Sky High. This is called Sky High. I'm going to align my waterline with that. At least I plan on it. I put a little bit on my actual lid because I don't have a very pronounced waterline. And then I'm going to take a clean brush, like a small kind of detail eyeshadow brush or lip brush. Let's see what this is. This is the LBE7 from Lunar Beauty. And I'm just going to try blending that a little bit. It's a little more softened. Good enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and repeat everything I did over here on this eye. I'm going to do that off camera for the sake of time. Just know that I'm going to be going in with Timid and Sugar High as my pink and my glitter. And then doing the same thing with the neutral brown colors. Okay, I also, for the liner, forgot to mention, I used this pink one, which is called Daydreamer, in my waterline. And I actually really love how this side turned out more than this side. I feel like the pink is a lot more blendable and, I'm not even say pigmented, whereas the blue came across like quite patchy to me. So, hey. I am going to go in with that brush I used, I just wiped it off, the LBE7, and I'm going to put a little bit of highlight on my inner corner. To do that, I'm going to use Double the Fun, which is this really pretty kind of champagne gold color right here. I've been looking at the viewfinder a lot, I'm so sorry. Also, when I'm done with this, I'm going to go across my face with a powder brush with nothing on it, because I'm getting glitter everywhere because I did not use a glitter base. So, all that's left is lips and mascara. I'm gonna go in with the Essence mascara. For mascara, this is Lash Princess, the purple one. So yeah, let me think, quick recap for everything I talked about. It occurred to me I also forgot to say that I had COVID. And yeah, that's part of the reason my breathing is so bad. That, and I clearly have gained weight from a myriad of reasons. But yeah, I had COVID. I literally had just recovered like 2 days prior to filming this. Got the job of my dreams, finally got my esthetician's license. No, I'm not curling my lashes because I forgot. My esthetician instructor's license. Got into a car wreck that totaled my vehicle and injured me permanently. I managed to get this mirror and get my teeth worked on and decorate my room quite a bit. I feel like I should have smoked out my upper eyelid a little bit. I might go in with a second and do that. I turned 28. That was something. Let me go in. I'm gonna take my thing and just accentuate my beauty spot because I covered it up. I was also dealing with a horrible breakout repeatedly for like 4 months, so that's something. We're gonna do lips and then I'm gonna spray my face. So for lips, there are a multitude of lip products that came with this and I'm not quite sure what to use because I really don't want to use anything purple. I think I'm gonna go in with this. This is a gloss and it's in the color something. Starstruck. It's like this pink gloss. I'm gonna go in with that on top of a lip liner. I'm just gonna use this LA Girl lip liner in Lapis, which is this kind of neutral color. And I'll be back in just a second. I actually like that quite a bit. So I'm gonna finish this off and then we'll finish up this Get Ready With Me. I'll talk a little bit at the end. So I'm gonna take my Twinkle Star facial mist. This is a glowing mist, which I usually kind of switch between using, but it is winter right now, so hey. We'll see how good it looks. I have oily skin, you know, so. Oh, it's very fine though. I feel like I can't really tell that it's on my face, so I'm gonna overload it. All right. Did I mention that my hair got longer? Obviously you can tell my hair is quite a bit longer. We'll see. Hair might change again soon, so I don't want you to get overly attached. I can definitely tell that that is a dewy spray, and I think it has some glitter in it, which I am not a fan of. I feel like that made me look like oily shiny. So, yeah. Okay. So this is the finished look. And I kind of like it. I need to get my brows done and still need to figure out how I apply makeup to my face. So moving forward, that was what happened in my year. Mental health definitely plagued me a lot. I would actually put 2021 down as one of the worst years of my life, despite the fact there were some positive things. Across the board, however, I feel like, I don't know if you remember, I talked in some of my earlier videos last year about how people in 2020 had a miserable year and how 2020 was great for me. I guess this was my karma catching up to me. So 2021 was abysmal. I'm really going to hope that moving forward, 2022 is a lot better for me. We're gonna manifest that. So yeah, moving forward, as far as my channel goes, as you know, this has always been a bit of a, not a safe space so much as an outlet for creativity and expression, regardless of who may or may not watch my channel with my 20 views. I do this to have fun. So I'm gonna keep that up. However, I want to preface that with, I'm not gonna give myself any time restrictions, you know, where you say like, I'm gonna upload twice a week. We're just gonna play it by ear. Honestly, at this point, I'm trying to get back to healthy and normalcy in my life, and not putting too much pressure on myself is one of those things. So my next video will be about my jar of dreams. We'll see. Hopefully it's in this next week. If not, so sorry. I want to continue doing the looks from the Making Faces book because that is helping me refine my craft, as well as paying homage to one of my influences. But yeah, if you're still here after all this time, I know that this video was a bit of a mess. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciated it. Honestly, it was a bit cathartic. I've missed it, you know? So, with all of that being said, we're going to just love and light and best wishes in 2022. As always, I am Harley Nouveau, and until our stars next align.